Sam never believed in ghosts until that night. It was 3 a.m. and he lay in bed, his room drowned in darkness. The only light came from his dim phone screen as he scrolled through social media, trying to fall asleep. That's when he felt it, a presence, a deep, unsettling feeling that he wasn't alone. His breathing slowed, his fingers froze over the screen. He could feel it. Someone was watching him, heart pounding. He forced himself to look up, and there it was. At the foot of his bed, barely visible in the shadows, stood a tall, motionless figure. No eyes, no face, just a dark, towering presence. Sam couldn't move, couldn't scream. His chest tightened with pure terror. With a trembling hand, he reached for his lamp and flicked it on. Gone. Nothing there. Just his empty room. He exhaled, trying to calm himself. It was just my mind playing tricks, he told himself. But just as he lay back down to a whisper, right next to his ear. I know you can see me. Sam jumped up, heart slamming against his ribs. He turned the lights back on, his eyes darting around the room. Empty. But then he saw it. His blanket had been pulled off the bed, and on the cold wooden floor was a single, dark footprint. Sam never slept in that room again. If you're still watching, you love real horror, don't forget to subscribe to Saga Vault for more terrifying stories like this. Jake had been driving for hours. It was past midnight. The highway stretched into endless darkness, and he was alone, or so he thought. As he turned a bend, his headlights illuminated something ahead. A woman, standing by the roadside, dressed in white. She was waving, asking for a ride. Jake hesitated. Something about her felt wrong, but the road was deserted, and leaving her alone in the dark didn't feel right. He pulled over. The woman stepped in, her movements slow and eerie. Her skin was cold, her face pale. Where are you headed? Jake asked. She smiled faintly. Home. Her voice was barely a whisper. As he drove, an uneasy silence filled the car. He glanced at her through the rearview mirror. Her face was emotionless, empty. A chill ran down his spine. Something about her presence made his stomach twitch. He turned to ask another question, and in that single second, she was gone. The seat belt was still fastened. The door hadn't opened, but she had vanished. Jake's breath hitched. His hands trembled on the steering wheel. Then, as his eyes flickered back to the mirror, she was right behind him, smiling. The car swerved violently as he let out a scream, and then everything went black. The next morning, his wrecked car was found in a ditch. The police said he was lucky to survive, but when they checked the car's passenger seat, it was ice cold. Jake never drove that highway again. If this story sent chills down your spine, hit that like button and subscribe to Saga Vault for more real horror stories. And remember, some things are better left unseen.